पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद। Yeah. صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرهم وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دون آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم حامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجها منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسخ من النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر والليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشاء نغرقهم فلا شريك لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أن اطعموا والله يشاء والله أطعم إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا سيئة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا سيئة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلموا نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إنا أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أزل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لتمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسكناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مزيا ولا يرجعون وما نؤمره ننكس في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأ أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. صلى الله عليه وسلم. فاتحة.
اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليهم وعلى آبائهم في هذه الساعة وفي كل الساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنوا أرزك طوعا وتمتعوا فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حديث-e-Kisa. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فأعطيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامي وكمالي فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك راهية طيبة كأنها راية جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جدا يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أظنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعته وإذا بولده الحسين عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جد، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن نكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي يا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن يا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك راحية طيبة كأنها راية أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذنوني أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال له عليك السلام يا أخي يا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لواء قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذنوني أن نكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بزعتي قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء فلما اكملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ بي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومى بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عادهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، واسحب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدور ولا يجرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبي هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبريل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء. فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبريل يا ربي أتأذنوني أن أحبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله عز وجل نعم قد أذنت لك. فحبت الأمين جبريل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرأك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقتم سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلكا يدور ولا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذنوا لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبريل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي يا أبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذين بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة النجية ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفي جمع من شيعتنا محبين إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم لإله أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال بي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذين بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفي جمع من شيعتنا محبينا وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وآله وسلم. صلوات سورہ فاتحہ.
صلوات. ولی اللہ علی اسد اللہ علی ولی اللہ علی اسد اللہ. میرا مرشد میرا آقا میرا سلطان علی. میرا مرشد میرا آقا میرا سلطان علی. میرا وارث میرا مولا میرا ایمان علی. کتنے انمول ہیں اعلیٰ ہیں مقدر ان کے جن کے واللہ زمانے میں ہے پہچان علی. میرے دل میں تو صدا میرے دل میں تو صدا مولا میرا رہتا ہے. کاش کے روز میرے گھر میں ہو مہمان علی. ولی اللہ علی اسد اللہ علی ولی اللہ علی اسد اللہ. سب لوگ مل کے پڑھو. قاہر اللہ دو ولی العلی عشق فاطمہ مرتضی علی. یا ابو الحسن مولا ہے زمن سلطان سخن ناز چمن. لافت علی اینی علی ناظر نبی ولی کو ولی. ہمیرا مولا علی ہمیرا مولا علی ہمیرا مولا علی ہمیرا مولا علی. یا ہمیرا مولا علی ہمیرا مولا علی. یا علی کہتی ہے دنیا مجھے نوکر تیرا. یا علی کہتی ہے دنیا مجھے نوکر تیرا. اب مجھے دولت دنیا کی تمنا ہی نہیں. صلوات. صلوات پر محمد وآل محمد.
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد.
علی ولی کے ولا کے اسیر بیٹھے ہیں. قسم خدا کی سبھی باضمیر بیٹھے ہیں. بنی تھی تیرا رجب ایک لکیر کعبے میں. اسی لکیر کے سارے فقیر بیٹھے ہیں.
حیدر 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 حیدر
حیدر حیدر حیدر حیدر نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر.
حیدر 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 حیدر
فاتح خیبر کعبے کا گوہر.
حیدر حیدر وقت ظہور قریب جو آیا جھوم کے یہ کہنے لگا کعبہ تیرے لیے ہی بنا ہے یہ گھر حیدر
نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر
حیدر حیدر سے منسوب جو ہوگا اس کو خدا مٹنے نہیں دے گا دیکھ لو خود کعبے میں جا کر حیدر
نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر
پڑھتے اگر زندہ کا جنازہ زندہ بھی ہو جاتا ہے مردہ زندہ کرے پھر مار کے ٹھوکر حیدر
نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر
حیدر زندہ ہے دنیا میں یہ کہہ کر میسم کمبر مالک اشتر مرتے کہاں ہے تیرے نوکر حیدر
نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر
نادے علی پر کر جو پکارا پلکیں ادھر جب کی اور آیا کرنے مدد بس ایک صدا پر حیدر
نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر
حیدر ہر غم ہر مشکل میں پکارا مومن کا ہے ایک ہی نعرہ ہر لمحہ دم مست قلندر حیدر
نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر
ایمان علی ایکان علی سلطان علی میری جان علی کونین علی کے قدموں میں دارین علی کے قدموں میں سبتین علی کے قدموں میں ثقلین علی کے قدموں میں تقدیر علی کے قدموں میں ہر پیر علی کے قدموں میں شبیر علی کے قدموں میں عزت بھی علی کے قدموں میں عظمت بھی علی کے قدموں میں امید علی تائید علی ہر مست ملنگ کی عید علی حامد حماد حمید علی مہتاب علی کرشید علی تاروں میں علی پیاروں میں علی قرآن تیرے پیاروں میں علی ہر مومن کے ناروں میں علی یا علی رحمان کی ہے سوگات علی ہجرت کی رات میں علی علی صلوات ساتھ میں علی علی بٹکو تو سہارا علی علی ڈوبو تو کنارہ علی علی نبیوں نے پکارا علی علی میرے آنکھ کا تارا علی علی مولا کمبر علی علی آقا ابو ذر علی علی ولیوں سے برتر علی علی ہم سب کا رہبر علی علی دم مست قلندر علی علی دم مست قلندر علی علی دم مست قلندر علی علی تو قبر سے باہر جو کر لے تو قبر سے باہر جو کر لے تیرے قبر کے اندر علی 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 علی
حیدر
نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر حیدر جب کہ ملنگوں کی محفل ہے مدحت پر مائل ہر دل ہے کیوں نہ کہے فرحان اور مظہر حیدر نفس نبی زہرا کا شوہر حیدر فاتح کیبر کعبہ کا گوہر حیدر
صلوات مرمومہ والمومہ
Sheikh Bilal, respected elders, brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of the Al-Mahdi Islamic Center, we'd like to wish you all a Kushali Mubarak on the Wiladat of the father of orphans, Imam Ali alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Tonight's program has been sponsored for the Thawab of all Marhumin of Muraj family, all Marhumin of Datu family, all Marhumin of Rahmatullah family, all Marhumin of Muslim Rajab Ali Jafar family, all Marhumin of Jafar Ali Natu family, all Marhumin of Sheriff Dewji family, all Marhumin of Datu family. Al-Fatiha. Bismillah. And tonight's Surah Yasin has also been sponsored for the Thawab of the Marhumin that are displayed on the screen, as well as today being the anniversary of Marhum Sultan Ali Jigani. Please recite a Surah Fatiha for all Marhumin. Bismillah. On Wednesday, we will be commemorating the wafat of Bibi Zainab, starting at 8 p.m. with Surah Yasin, followed by Marsha, Majlis, Matam, and Ziyarat. Lastly, let us recite 5 times Amma Yujib for all those who are sick here and around the world. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma Yujibul Mustaraiza Da'u wa Yakshifu Su. 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 Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Please recite a salawat as I call up our president to say a few words. Salawat.
Our resident alim, Sheikh Bilal Hussain, my elders, my brothers and sisters in Iman, Salamun Alaikum. On this auspicious and blessed night of the Wiladat of Imam Amirul Mu'mineen, Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. It gives me utmost joy to announce the nond of Ahsan, son of Brother Qayyam and Sister Sabira Rahmatullah, to Zahra, daughter of Brother Abbas, and our chairlady, Sister Rehana Jafar. For Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And on behalf of our management team of the Shia Ithnashi Jamaat of New York, and indeed our whole community, we extend our heartfelt mabruk to both families. May the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the couple with lots of barakah and happiness. Ameen. Both Ahsan and Zahra graduated from Farmingdale State College, with Ahsan majoring in computer science while Zahra majored in medical lab science. And both come from families with strong connections and involvement within our community. Ahsan was born and brought up in New York, where he attended Al-Husseini Madrasa, where we were in Woodside, Queens. All of his former teachers remember and vouch for him for his excellent akhlaq, focused both inside and outside of the classroom, family-oriented and with sincere, respectful demeanor. Zahra, who I personally know and have seen her grow up to be a responsible, selfless, tremendously engaged young lady when it comes to volunteering at Al-Mahdi Center. She brings a spirit of service which we would like to see in all our youths, serving with sincerity and warmth. Her dedication and tireless efforts as one of our media room technicians to go with contributing her time in different areas, wherever needed our center, during and outside of functions, you will never see her hesitating to step in whenever and wherever there is a need. She's able to multitask so seamlessly, and she does it with a smile. Every time I've reached out to her, the word no is just not in her vocabulary. All our volunteers will tell you that she's a mirror younger version of her mother, our chairlady, Sister Rehana Jafar. And just like her mother, you will almost never catch Zahra sitting during a mosque event, but involved in volunteering and serving our congregants. Today is probably the only exception where she's been given strong instructions that this is her special night and she's not to even lift a spoon. One area that she has really made a difference is within our media room. And indeed, I've been asked to let Zahra know that your AV room teammate, Zahra, would like to recognize you as their go-to team member and assistant lead. You have been one of the key reasons behind the successes achieved by the team. Your dedication, technical expertise, and creativity is second to none, and we, the community, are all so much better for it. Your leadership style has been impactful, always ready to support the team, step in when needed, as for example, to cover at the last moment when someone is not able to man the station in the AV room. You, as your teammates are saying, are an inspiration to those around you, always striving to be the best when it comes to providing service to the community. Your contributions have not been lost to management. We thank you for your hard work and your unwavering commitment. You have all the hallmarks of one day serving this community in the same capacity as your mom, for indeed, you have the best role model. And of course, big shoes to fill. But if anyone can do it, Zahra, it is you. And speaking of your mom, Sister Rehana, we are so delighted and happy for this news. Your service to this community extends many years, from Al Hussaini Madrasa in Woodside, Queens, to Mehfil Panjatan in Elmont, and now here at Al Mahdi Center. You have been blessed to have had the good luck for working with some of the most amazing leaders our community has ever produced on the ladies' side, as Marhuma Gulshan Hasham, Sister Zarina Shivji, Sister Nishi Khalfan, Sister Gulzar Megji, and of course, Sister Rifat Khalfan. And you have formed such an amazing team, which includes your assistant, Sister Fatima Khalfan, and Sister Habiba Jaxi, to go with the most amazing legion of volunteers by your side. And I'm eternally grateful, Rehana. I'm eternally grateful to you that when you agreed to serve this community on my request, knowing full well the commitment it takes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our Ahlul Bayt are witness to all your sacrifices. Your family, which includes Zahra and your daughter-in-law Hadia, who do so much for the community. Our community this evening says Asante Sana, or thank you. And we pray for you and your family. And on this wonderful news of Zahra's engagement, our management team now would like to present both Zahra and Rehana a small token of our appreciation. And I would now like to ask my better half, Femi Aziz, alongside Sister Fatima Khalfan and Sister Habiba Jaxi, to help us do the honors. Per Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, salawat. And the family members of Zahra also wish to let you all know that as the engagement favors made their way around to you, there's a special red Kit Kat in the box that was given to you. One for the ladies and one for the gents. And whoever gets the red Kit Kat, you'll find there's white and red. Whoever finds the red Kit Kat, which is only one on the men's side and one on the women's side, will be gifted Zamzam water and Ajwa dates from the Holy Land of Makkah, brought by the Jafar family from their recent trip to Umrah. Please make sure that if you find that red Kit Kat, you can give it to me. No, I'm just kidding. You can find any one of the family members. I see Ali, I see Komel over there. Please make sure you see them. And on the ladies' side, please see Sister Hadia Jafar for your special gift. Once again, we celebrate the union of two extraordinary souls, Ahsan and Zahra. We witness two hearts that are so perfectly aligned with their personality, as well as in the values and principles they hold dear to their heart. We congratulate the families of Rahmatullah and Jafar on the engagement of their beloved children. Please now, let's all with a loud salawat recite a big salawat for both the families. Salawat. Muhammad. And please, we are being requested for Surah Fatiha for all the marhumeens of Rahmatullah, Muraj, Jafar, and Natu families, and for all marhumeen. Al-Fatiha. Wassalamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
बारे दीगर नारे सलावत। ہم نے تو بچپنے سے سنا یا علی مدد، ہم نے تو بچپنے سے سنا یا علی مدد، ماؤں کے دودھ سے ہی پیا یا علی مدد۔ ناد علی کا ورد جو کرتی چلی گئی، ناد علی کا ورد جو کرتی چلی گئی، عمر رواں سکون سے گزرتی چلی گئی۔ جس نے در حسین پہ سر کو جھکا دیا، جس نے در حسین پہ سر کو جھکا دیا، وہ شخصیت جہاں میں ابھرتی چلی گئی۔ میدان میں تیز دست یہ تیغ علی نہ پوچھ، سر سے چلی بدن میں اترتی چلی گئی۔ فوج عدو پہ ڈال کے ایک سر نگاہ، فوج عدو پہ ڈال کے ایک سر نگاہ، سر کو اڑاتی سر سے گزرتی چلی گئی۔ کاٹے کہیں گلے کہیں کھولے بدن میں چاک، لاکھوں کا بائیں زست کترتی چلی گئی۔ دیوانوار لوگ بھی مرتے چلے گئے، دیوانوار لوگ بھی مرتے چلے گئے، تیغ علی جدھر سے گزرتی چلی گئی۔ دنیا میں ذکر آل محمد نہ رک سکا، دنیا میں ذکر آل محمد نہ رک سکا، دنیا یہ آرزو لیے مرتی چلی گئی۔ موت آ رہی تھی دیکھا جو لب پر علی کا نام، موت آ رہی تھی دیکھا جو لب پر علی کا نام، مجھ سے ملے بغیر گزرتی چلی گئی۔ موت آ رہی تھی دیکھا جو لب پر علی کا نام، مجھ سے ملے بغیر گزرتی چلی گئی۔ ناد علی کا ورد جو کرتی چلی گئی، ناد علی کا ورد جو کرتی چلی گئی، عمر رواں سکون سے گزرتی چلی گئی۔ صلوات
With a loud salawat, please call upon Sheikh Bilal. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
رحم الله من يقرأ سورة الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين واللعنة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الحكيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قد أفلح المؤمنون. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Your second salawat for love of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. And your loudest salawat as congratulations to the master of our time, Sahibul Asri wa Zaman. Alhamdulillah alladhi ja'alana min al-mutamassikeen bi wilayati Amir al-Mu'mineen. All praise is due to Allah, who has blessed us with the mercy of following and submitting to the authority and wilayah of none other than our master Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Usually in the beauty of today, the lectures are very short, so bear with me, I'll try to keep it short. But we give an opportunity on days like this for all of our community to participate and share in their poetry and their love and do what's called izhar-e aqidah, to show their love for Ahlul Bayt, which is why lectures are short. But give me a chance to talk about my love for Amir al-Mu'mineen too. You know, there's an interesting discussion about how it happens and why it is that Imam Ali is born on the 13th of Rajab. And it's not a mistake or an accident that this is the date of his Wiladat. First and foremost, the birth of Amir al-Mu'mineen is foretold by Abu Talib himself. 30 years before the birth of Amir al-Mu'mineen, when our holy Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is born, the one who assists in the birth of Rasulullah is the mother of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Fatima bint Asad. And when she comes to speak to Abu Talib, and this is where it's interesting, because some narrators say that the Prophet is actually born in the house of Abu Talib, and others who say no, that Fatima bint Asad assists Amina bint Wahab in the birth of Rasulullah. But when Fatima bint Asad returns and she sits with Abu Talib, she says, I have seen something amazing. I have seen the nur of Allah revealed on this earth. I have heard the malaika call out at the birth of this child. I have seen something that is not possible in the birth of Rasulullah. And it was Abu Talib who says, O Fatima, I give you glad tidings that a birth similar to this will take place in your house not long from now. So meaning the birth of Amir al-Mu'mineen was announced at the birth of Rasulullah. And Abu Talib foretold that soon there would be a child who was born in similar circumstances, which is why every ma'soom who is born, we say the nur of that ma'soom fills this earth at the moment of their birth. They call out to Allah, and the malaika give greetings and glad tidings upon the birth of that ma'soom. Every single one we have these narrations. But the foretelling of the birth of Ali ibn Abi Talib was something that came in that time. And there are other narrations that discuss this event as well too, and the foretelling of this event. But why the 13th of Rajab? The 13th of Rajab is not an accidental date. As such, and so are we sure, neither is the location of the birth of Ali ibn Abi Talib an accidental location either. Both of these are muta'ammidam, intentional, and for a purpose. You see, Rajab, and we talked about this in the beginning of this month, Rajab is a month of doing umrah. The most recommended umrah that a person can do is in the month of Rajab. And this month of Rajab being the month of Umrah is not something that began with the advent of Islam, but was actually an established practice amongst the Arabs even prior to the advent of Islam. We would go so far as back to say that it is likely that it was something that was introduced when Ibrahim was told to call the people to the Kaaba, that this was one of the key times in which that invitation was made, that come to the Kaaba in this month of Rajab. So it was well established that people will come to the Kaaba in the month of Rajab. All of society, all of humanity, before the advent of Islam would come to this location. Now the tradition would be that if Rajab is the month to come, that many people would leave their house when the Rajab started. And the month of Rajab would be associated with the pilgrimage to the Kaaba and the visit to the Kaaba. So it would take many days to come and many days to go. But you would typically get there around the middle of the month. So meaning that when we talk about the date of birth, it is the date of birth that many of people in society from many places in society in Arabia were present in the city of Mecca already. And that many of them had come specifically for the visit to the Kaaba in this point in time. And it was in the middle of this that Fatima bint Asad walked to the Kaaba and held its side. To the extent where there are enough people present and enough people in discussion that they say, we heard the comments of Fatima bint Asad as she held on to the sides of the Kaaba. And the people narrating this are not family members. They're not relatives. They're not people who have any particular affiliation with the family of Abu Talib, who stood there and said, we saw this lady in her final days, before that she would be delivering a child, come to the Kaaba and hold on to the ghilaf of the Kaaba and call out, O Lord of this house that was built by my grandfather, I swear by all of the Anbiya who have come before that I believe in you and your message. One of the important things about the statements that she made about this history of hers showed that she was a mawahid, a believer in Tawheed and from the lineage of Ibrahim even in that time. So those who cast aspirations against Abu Talib and the deen of Abu Talib, he was the one who raised all of his children on the deen of Allah, and his wife swore by that religion as she stood in that moment. And it was not you and I who made that claim, but rather the people of Arabia who said, we heard her own words talking to Allah. And she said, I swear by this child within me that speaks to me and gives me company in my loneliness. One of the important things to remember is, Bibi Fatima bint Asad already had 5 kids before the birth of Ali ibn Abi Talib. 3 brothers and 2 sisters of Imam Ali were all born. He is the last to be born. Talib, Aqil, Ja'far are all present. Why was she at the Kaaba? This discussion of why someone in that condition, knowing what they know, goes to the Kaaba and speaks to Allah in this way. We could say that someone who is unfamiliar with what you do in that final phase before a child is born. But this was not the case. One of the explanations is the idea that Allah gives inspiration to His people. And that the inspiration to her was that this was the time to go to the house of Allah and make dua specifically. So today you and I, we go to Rukn Yamani of the Kaaba and we see that this is the place where Fatima bint Asad stood and prayed to Allah, asked Allah for relief, and Allah split the wall of the Kaaba, and Bibi Fatima bint Asad entered into the Kaaba on the 13th of Rajab and the day of the Wiladat of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Now these narrations say that as soon as we saw this happen, we all became frightened. The Kaaba physically opened. It was not the door that opened, but the wall opened, and this lady knew to enter. How did she know to enter? Would it not be that if you are standing at a location and the wall splits in front of you, you go the other way? You don't go into it, you go the other way. But this lady knew to enter in, and the wall knew to close behind her. They went to the door and they tried to open it, to the extent where they went to Abu Talib. We have seen the lady of your house go to the Kaaba, the wall of the Kaaba split and she has entered. They said, we tried to open the door, we could not unlock the door, we could not enter this location, to the extent where they say, we saw Abu Talib walk back to his house and leave. Meaning that this was a house that had trust in Allah already. The event of it taking place on the 13th of Rajab was to ensure that all of humanity and society would bear witness to this event and would be present to know that who was the one who would be born and where it was that he would be born, so that no one could argue about it. Today when you take a look and see, there are those who have tried to steal the fadail of Ali ibn Abi Talib. They have taken of the title of Faruq and given it to someone. Why is he Faruq? We don't know. Why is Ali Faruq? Because Ali is Faruq al-Jannati wal-Nar. They took the title of Dhu Nurain and gave it to someone and said, yes, he married 2 of the wives, 2 of the daughters of Rasulullah, so he became the possessor of the 2 lights. Baba, if he divorced them or they died, what was the point of him having the possession of 2 lights? No, the true title belonged to Ali. I will tell you, he was Nurain because Hassan and Hussain were his sons in this dunya and in akhirah, could not be taken away. They took all of the titles of Ali, even to where they tried to say that no, he wasn't born in the Kaaba. One by the name of Hizam ibn Hakam was born in the Kaaba, no one else. But then turn and ask them, did the wall of the Kaaba split open for Hizam ibn Hakam? And they'll say, Baba, we don't know. We can't imagine and say that. Why would Hizam be so special that the wall splits open for him? But today, every Muslim, every person in the world can look at the Kaaba and never deny that this wall has been broken. And it was broken for a purpose. And the only purpose that can come to mind is the enunciation of the birth of the Wali of Allah, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. They want to steal the right of Amir al-Mu'mineen, let them come and then show them the Kaaba and show them the break and say, who is Hizam that Allah's house breaks for Hizam? But turn and then ask them, who is Ali that the house of Allah breaks for Ali? And the fadail of Ali ibn Abi Talib will come to the tongues of every human being. Bibi Fatima bint Asad enters. The wall closes. 3 days she stays within this place. For 3 days there is no question or answer. Hayyan, mayyitan, ma halaha, maaku akhbar. There's no news. No one can enter, no one can exit. Until eventually on the 15th it is, they say that the wall opens and out comes Fatima bint Asad holding the baby Ali ibn Abi Talib in her hands. The date and time were specific to make sure that all of humanity of the time witnesses this event, that every person present stays and watches and wonders. Today you think there's a child who falls in a well, they hold this vigil on TV, 24 hours, 36 hours. The first vigil that was held was the one held at the entrance of the Kaaba. And you notice and you see that the first person to greet that child is our beloved Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I can't explain to you. I don't know how to put into words. These fadail of Amir al-Mu'mineen are the fadail of Rasulullah. That these attributes that Ali possesses are the reflection of the devotion between the relationship between Allah and His Habib. There's no other way to explain how and why. You see, the devotion Rasulullah had to Allah, the love and commitment that Rasulullah has to Allah, if we did not possess someone like Amir al-Mu'mineen, we would have never uncovered the depths of love that Rasulullah has for Allah. And the same way, if we did not have someone like Ali ibn Abi Talib, we would not have understood what Allah meant when He called Rasulullah Habibullah, the beloved of Allah. The title and its purpose would have been lost to us if there was no manifestation between the two of them to show and reflect the love that existed between Allah and His most beloved of creation. Why? The examples abound. But look at the first example that Allah establishes. That Allah creates the wali, the successor, the brother of Rasulullah. Rasulullah now wanting to greet his successor, wanting to greet his brother. Had he gone to the house of another human being, they would have said Rasulullah follows and listens to this other human being. Had he gone to the house of another man, they would have said this man is superior, that Rasulullah comes to his house when there's barakat in his house. But Allah, not wanting His Habib to stand below any other human being, brings the birth of his successor in the house of Allah, so that if Rasulullah is to go anywhere to greet and congratulate for Ali ibn Abi Talib, he goes to the house of Allah and bows before no man, shows superiority of no one above him, except that Allah Jalla Jalaluhu invites Rasul to His house to give a wali to Rasulullah, so that there is no one between Rasulullah and Allah except for Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. The birth of Amir al-Mu'mineen in the house of Allah is intentional. It has to be. Had it been anywhere else, we would have said that Rasulullah went to the house of this person. He went to the house of that person. Rasulullah had a private connection with this one. Rasulullah had extra love for that one. No, the only place our Prophet goes, the only place where Allah lets His wali come, is to show that Rasulullah submits to no man but Allah Himself. And which is why we see the statements that exchange between these two. Rasulullah takes this infant into his arms. That child opens his eyes for the first time in the hands of Rasulullah. Imagine the barakat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. The first person that he puts his eyes on in this world is none other than the beloved of Allah. Rahmatul lil alameen. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The verse exchange, they say this infant of 3 days old speaks in the cradle and reads for the Prophet, قَدْ أَفْلَهَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Certainly the believers have become successful. I imagine that this is said that that infant looks at the rahmah of Allah and says to himself that I am successful, that I am in the hands of Rasulullah. And the Rasulullah replies, لا قد أفلح أنت يا أمير المؤمنين يا علي. That certainly you are successful and those who love you, Ali, will be the ones who are successful. Meaning that the love exchanged between these two, the discussion exchanged between these two, can you doubt that he would speak at 3 days? If Isa ibn Maryam can speak from the moment that he is born, and he is not in the possession in the hands of Rasulullah, why would you doubt that Ali speaks when he is in the hands of Rasulullah, when the Rasulullah is the one who can make stones speak in his hand? This love that exists between these two, and the love that exists between Allah and His Habib, whatever Allah wanted success for His Prophet, He gave at the hands of Ali, which is why even in the battles of Badr and Uhud you would hear Jibreel call out, لا فتاح إلا علي ولا سيف إلا ذو الفقار. Why? It was the victory of Ali that was showing the superiority of Rasulullah. And the same way it was the ibadat of Ali that was showing the love of Rasulullah for Allah. Which is why everything in the description in the life of Imam Ali that you'll see is so astounding and impossible to believe that it's not just us who wind up astounded by the status of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But look, and even you'll see one of the authentic narrations from our fifth Imam Muhammad ibn Ali al-Baqir alayhi salam, who describes, and he says, one day when I found my father spending that night in ibadat, and the condition of Imam Zainul Abidin was such that Imam Baqir says, on seeing my father's condition, I wept. Oh father, how have you spent this night in worship that such is your condition? And Imam Zainul Abidin says, oh my son, bring me that sahifa, bring me that book that has the worship of Ali ibn Abi Talib in it. Imam Baqir says, when I brought this to my father, he read the ibadat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and the papers fell from his hands, that who can worship Allah like Ali ibn Abi Talib? This description tells you that hayyarat al-uqul, that all of the intellects are lost in what it is that is Amir al-Mu'mineen. That even the A'imma at times could not believe and understand who is Amir al-Mu'mineen. And it was him that the enemy stole his attributes, and the liars exaggerated about his attributes. And yet still we gather and we discuss and we know that his are the attributes that could not be lied about, nor could they be stolen, and in truth, nor could they be exaggerated. Yet how does he achieve that? He achieves that again as the reflection of the commitment between these two, which is why Rasulullah would make the statement and he would say, "O Ali, no one knows you except for me and Allah, and no one knows me except for you and Allah, and no one knows Allah except for me and you." This was the description to show where this personality came from and what he was and why we gather. Which is why one of the greatest statements that our Prophet made about this Ali ibn Abi Talib, he says, "Dhikru aliyin ibadah." He would describe and he would say that if you find yourself in the need of worship of Allah, or there is something missing in your life, look at the face of Ali and it will be ibadah. Imran ibn Hussain, one of the people of the time of Rasulullah, when he becomes ill, Rasulullah says, "Oh Ali, go visit this Imran." They describe that Abu Huraira and another man are sitting by Imran. Amir al-Mu'mineen enters. The man on his sickness looks to the face of Ali and won't look away. They ask him, "Why don't you look away? Why are you staring at the face of Ali? You are so sick, you are barely alive." He says, "I find myself in need. And I remember that Rasulullah said looking at Ali is ibadah. So I imagine if I am to die, I want to die looking at the face of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam." When they would describe and say of the riches that people had collected, because Makkah was the capital of trading, a man comes and he describes the riches he has seen in the east, and he sits by Rasulullah, and all of the companions stop listening to the Prophet and listen to the riches this man has earned, the things he has seen. Rasulullah sees a man walking in and he says, "This man has earned a reward greater than what he has brought from the east. Why don't you ask him what his reward is?" They became astounded. They said, "You have wealth greater than this?" He says, "I have nothing." They said, "But Rasulullah has said you have wealth greater than this." He says, "This morning I went to commit a business transaction. When I found that I could not make my business transaction, I remembered that looking at Ali is ibadah. So I left my affairs and I went to Ali. I looked upon his face and then I came to this majlis." Rasulullah describes, he says, that has earned you more reward than anything else. This was the description of him trying to tie people to Amir al-Mu'mineen. And those who have tied themselves to Ali, قَدْ أَفْلَهَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And those who have forsaken Ali, what have they gained in this life or the hereafter? There is one statement that shows what it is that Amir al-Mu'mineen earned from the words of Allah Himself. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 207. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِ نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ رَؤُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. There is no Muslim in Islam except that they agree that this verse is revealed in the fadilat and the fadail of Ali ibn Abi Talib. They can disagree about everything else, but they cannot argue about this verse. Why? The explanation comes and says that the people of Mecca had gathered to try and stop the message of Rasulullah. And when they were coming up with ideas, there was a man in a red hat who came and sat with them and said, "What will you do about this messenger and how will you stop him?" They said, "We shall ban him from this place." He said, "You've banned him before," and he came back again. They said, "We shall put him in a cell and lock him up." They said, "From the cell he will speak to people and eventually you will be forced to release him." They said, "If you don't like our ideas, oh man, why don't you give us a suggestion of what we should do?" The man in the red hat comes and he says, "Kill this prophet." They said, "But the Banu Hashim are from amongst the Quraysh. If we kill one of their own, we will be held in blame. And our honor is more valuable to us than anything else." So this man in the red hat says, "Then do such a thing that each of your clans appoint one person. And all of your clans go together and kill him together without one taking precedence over the other. Even if the Banu Hashim want to take revenge from you, they cannot take revenge from all of the Quraysh, and then therefore they will be left without any recourse, and you will be left without blame because it will be all of the Quraysh." I said, this is a wonderful idea. Do you know who the wonderful idea came from? Iblis himself. In history, one of the descriptions of when Iblis comes to the people of the time is that he would wear a red hat and show himself amongst them. They say this is a great idea. And they take the idea of Iblis and they prepare one man from each house of the Quraysh. And they go to the house of Rasulullah. Yet Allah has informed our Prophet that, "Ya Rasulullah, leave this place before it should happen, that they come and that they kill you." Rasulullah turns to Ali ibn Abi Talib and he says, "Ya Ali, they have intended to kill me. Will you take my place in this bed?" The famous phrase of Amir al-Mu'mineen is, "Ya Rasulullah, will you be saved? And the Rasulullah replies, yes, I will be saved. Ali ibn Abi Talib says, then I am happy to take this position. They describe and they say that in that night, on that bed, lay Ali ibn Abi Talib, surrounded by enemies, all who looked in and said, we saw Rasulullah on the bed. When they describe and say in the morning when they intended to attack, they removed the covers, they said, this is not the Prophet, this is Ali. They ask Ali, where is Rasulullah? Where is this Prophet? He says, how am I to know? I'm sleeping in front of you here. When they asked him and they said, did you find it difficult? Amir al-Mu'mineen would describe, I have never found a more peaceful sleep in my life than I did that one night on the bed of Rasulullah. It goes further. This is recognized by Allah. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, and from amongst the people, مَنْ يَشْرِ نَفْسَهُ, there is one who sells himself ابتغاء مرضات الله, for the desire of earning the pleasure of Allah. And وَاللَّهُ رَؤُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ, and Allah is generous and kind to His servants, is the description that describes and says, what was the value of this action in the eyes of Allah? What was the value of this action of Ali ibn Abi Talib offering to sacrifice himself for Rasulullah? That Allah explains and He says, Ali did nothing for Rasulullah. Ali sold himself to me, and I am the one who bought Ali, and there is no more generous of a buyer than Allah for the soul of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Amir al-Mu'mineen would act for Rasulullah, and Allah would be the one who rewards him. Rasulullah would ask Allah, and Allah would send Ali to him. This is why we say that the bond between our Prophet and Allah is described and disclosed to us through the actions of Ali, which is why our Prophet would call out, Nadi Ali, Madhar al-Ajaib, تجده عونا لك في النوائب كل هم وغم سينجلي بولايتك يا علي يا علي يا علي اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم. 10 times we call out by the barakat of this day, by the barakat of this night, by the barakat of this mawlud and of the Kaaba that would describe his fadail. Ya Allah, 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 Ya Mahmud بحق محمد يا أعلى بحق علي يا فاطر السماوات بحق فاطمة يا محسن بحق الحسن يا قديم الأحسان بحق الحسين. Oh Allah, accept this ibadat from us. Ya Allah, give the thawab of this majlis to our marhumeen, the marhumeen of the mu'mineen, and all those who are in need of dua. Ya Allah, we have gathered here with hajat, by the rights of this night, by the rights of this month, by the rights of this holy personality, fulfill our hajat. Ya Allah, those amongst our families, our communities, the mu'mineen who are suffering through sickness and disease, give shafa' and aman to the mu'mineen wherever they are. Ya Allah, those who are suffering through strife, insecurity, difficulty around this world, give aman and protection to the mu'mineen, muslimeen, wherever they may be. Oh Allah, keep us and our children firm on the path of wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Keep us firm on the message of the Holy Quran. Keep us firm in the path of following the ahkam of Islam. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the remainder of Rasulullah, Sahibul Asri wal Zaman. Make us and our families from the upright supporters of Sahibul Zaman. Hasten his reappearance and entitle us to the ziyarat of Imam Hussain in this world and the shafa' of Imam Hussain in the hereafter. All those of our forefathers, of our grandparents, of our great-grandparents, our marhumeen, those who have left us, who gave us the love of Amir al-Mu'mineen in our lives, remembering them today, that today is a celebration for them as well. 1 Surah Fatiha, 3 times Surah Ikhlas, with your loudest of salawat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Bismillah.
Where am I? That's you next to me.
What's your position?
Guys. Get the other mic. Say your mic. Say mic. صوت
علي 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 I've been wanting to see you forever, Ali. To make you proud of me, I'll endeavor, Ali. To be by your side, I'll give whatever, Ali. I know that soon we will be together, Ali.
Every step that I take, every time that I think, every move that I make, every time that I blink.
دشت में अबर का पहला कतरा अली मेरा मुर्शिद भी आका भी मौला अली अली मौला अली I see you near me I want to feel free Ya Ali 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 हर सू सदा I spend all of my time dreaming of you, Ali. You're the one that can make me feel brand new, Ali. I'm wishing for a love that feels so true, Ali. All the pain of the world I take for you, Ali.
In you I place my hope to help ease all my strife. Without you I can't cope, you're the love of my life.
Ali, Mawla Ali, I see you near me where I long to be. Ya Ali, 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 Janam Fida ya Haidari. Ya Ali, 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 Janam Fida ya Haidari. Ya Ali, Ali, Ali.
I'll see you soon and then I will feel free, Ali. I reach all and tell me, can you see me, Ali? I don't know without you who I would be, Ali. Only you can make my heart feel complete, Ali.
For you I'd give my all to have you by my side. My heart, body and soul, from your love I can't hide.
मैं मुसीबत में अब क्यों परेशान रहूं, गम के मारों का है तू सहारा, अली.
Ali, Mawla Ali, I see you near me, son of Hashimi. Ya Ali, 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 Ramze Baqaye Hashimi. Ya Ali, 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 Janam Fida ya
One of the makhsus ziyarat of Amir al-Mu'mineen is known as Ziyarat Amin Allah. It's a short ziyarat. It is a salam that we send to Amir al-Mu'mineen. And inshallah we'll recite that ziyarat all together on our behalf, on behalf of our family members, our marhumeen, and all of the mu'mineen who are in need of dua. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, assalamu alayka ya Nabi Allah, assalamu alayka ya Habibullah wa Khatam al-Nabiyeen. Assalamu alayka ya Amin Allah fi ardihi wa hujjatuhu ala ibadihi. Assalamu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. أشهد أنك جاهدت في الله حق جهاده وعملت بكتابه واتبعت سنن نبيه صلى الله عليه وآله حتى دعاك الله إلى جواره فقبضك إليه باختياره وألزم أعداءك الحجة مع ما لك من الحجج البالغة على جميع خلقه. اللهم فاجعل نفسي مطمئنة بقدرك راضية بقضائك مولعة بذكرك ودعائك محبة لصفوة أوليائك محبوبة في أرضك وسمائك صابرة على نزول بلائك شاكرة لفواضل نعمائك ذاكرة لسوابغ آلائك مشتاقة إلى فرحة لقائك متزودة التقوى ليوم الجزائك مستنة بسنن أوليائك مفارقة لأخلاق أعدائك مشغولة عن الدنيا بحمدك وثنائك. اللهم إن قلوب المخبتين إليك والهة وسبل الراغبين إليك شارعة وأعلام القاصدين إليك واضحة وأفئدة العارفين منك فازعة وأصوات الداعين إليك ساعدة وأبواب الإجابة لهم مفتحة ودعوة من ناجاك مستجابة وتوبة من أناب إليك مقبولة وعبرة من بقى من خوفك مرحومة والإغاثة على من استغاث بك موجودة والإعانة على من استعان بك مبذولة وعداتك لعبادك منجزة وزلل من استقالك مقالة وأعمال العاملين لديك محفوظة وأرزاقك إلى خلائك من لدنك نازلة وعوائد المزيد إليهم واصلة وذنوب المستغفرين مغفورة وحوائج خلقك عندك مقضية وجوائز السائلين عندك موفرة وأوائد المزيد متواترة وموائد المستطعمين معدة ومناهل الذماء مترعة. اللهم فاستجب دعائي واقبل ثنائي واجمع بيني وبين أوليائي بحق محمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين إنك ولي نعماي ومنتهى مناي وغاية رجائي في منقلب ومثواي. أنت إلهي وسيدي ومولاي اغفر لأوليائنا وكف عنا أعداءنا واشغلهم عن أذانا واظهر كلمة الحق واجعلها عليا وادهذ كلمة الباطل واجعلها سفلى إنك على كل شيء قدير. السلام عليك يا أبا محمد حسن بن علي المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين الشهيد بكربلاء. السلام عليكم تسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين علي بن الحسين زين العابدين ومحمد بن علي باقر علم النبيين وجعفر بن محمد الصادق وموسى بن جعفر الكاظم وعلي بن موسى الرضا ومحمد بن علي الجواد وعلي بن محمد الهادي والحسن بن علي الأسكري. السلام عليك يا حجة الله يا ابن الحسن يا صاحب العصر والزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك والأنصارك. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة يا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Ali.